let's do some more Qigong. And I would like for you to I want you to stand up. I don't know where you are, because this is kind of hard to do it sitting down. Though you can do it sitting down. Just is much, much better. I mean, the only time I would ask people to sit down is because they couldn't stand up. Either they were in, they are in so much pain, or they're. I mean, I've had students come to my class who had really bad knee problems, and so you start from where you're most comfortable, and then eventually, when you build a little bit of stamina, and it happens fairly quickly, the person will try and stand up, and they'll do it, and then they'll have to sit down, and that's perfectly fine. I never ask anybody to do anything beyond their own abilities. I've had guys come into my class who were obviously went to the gym a lot, and we would be doing these standing Qigong forms, and most of the students I had in my class who came all the time, they got used to it, but this guy would come back next week and he goes, I don't know what you did last week, but my calf legs were just killing me. And he had these beautiful, well-developed, ooh-la-la calf legs. I mean, he was really in wonderful shape, and I just kind of this Qigong is really, you can bust into a sweat, because what happens, your body temperature is going to go up while you're doing it, because you're detoxing. Your vibration is going to rev up. And when your vibration is up high and your frequency is up high and revving, it is really, really, really difficult for dense cells, like in cancer, like in any illness, to hold on, and they slough off. They slough off, and they wind up in your sweat, your urine, they just go. So you want that frequency to be high. You're going to get a little hot when you do Qigong. Like this guy, he was just standing there doing very simple movements, paying attention to his breath and just following along. You can get a workout, and that's really good. So, like I said, you can do the standing, sitting. What I'd like for you to do, if you stand up, I'm going to have to stand up too here because I've been sitting. And this is called, I'm sure it has different names, but it's called ocean breathing. So what I want you to do is you're standing and your feet are about shoulder width apart. And I don't want you to straighten your legs. I don't want you to lock them. And how you can tell if you're locking your knees is go ahead and lock them. And that's a very uncomfortable way. I want you just to relax the knees. They're slightly bent, but not overly bent, okay? We want your body to be supported by your skeleton frame, not your muscles. And if you need to shift from one leg to the other, by all means, this is not a stagnant practice. You're always moving. Okay. If your shoulders are tense or tight, just rotate them. This is not about living with tight muscles or anything. If your feet get numb while you're standing, shake them out and then get back into your position. So what I'd like you to do, you're standing with your feet comfortably, shoulder width apart, right? Don't let your butt stick out. Just kind of keep it. Remember, find that. That may take a while, because I'm not there to say, relax your shoulders or anything. You're going to have to really pay attention to what your body is doing right now. And don't let your head sag on your chest. It's like that old thing where you have a string pulling you up the top of your head, and your shoulders are comfortable. And I want you to take your two palms and rub them together like that so they get nice and warm. And you're rubbing them, and you're rubbing them. And then let your hands go. Stop rubbing, but keep your hands together and let them go down in front of you, just above the belly button. Depends how long your arms are, I suppose. And slowly pull your hands apart, okay? And then slowly push your hands in, but not all the way in. Leave a few inches. And then slowly pull your hands apart and slowly push them in. Allow your elbows to be relaxed. And your hands are going to be about 3 inches from your body. Don't hold your hands up. That's a whole other form. I mean, like I said, we're doing one of 12,000 forms here. And slowly push your chi in, because what you have between your palms, what you've stirred up, is a little ball of your chi. And what you're doing is you're massaging that chi between your palms. And you may feel something between your palms. And as you're moving your hands, every time you go out, your palms go out a little bit further. But it's very slow, very slow. And your arms follow with your palms. And let your hands kind of undulate very, very slowly. You ever see like sea kelp, giant sea kelp in the ocean, and how they undulate with the tide and the waves? Let your hands do that. Let it be very soft and elegant. And I want you to notice your breathing. As you expand your arms out, allow your breath to take on that rhythm, gentle beat. So as you pull your hands out, you are inhaling, and when they come back in, you exhale. So you take your time with your breath. So when you first started out, you may have noticed, and you're only moving your hands apart, let's say 12 inches, and then you're moving in about a few more inches. Your inhales are going to be short, not rapid pace. They're kind of like going like inhale, exhale. And then a bigger one would be inhale, exhale. And this is really good for making better lung capacity. There's a lot of Qigong forms for creating better lung capacity. Better lung capacity means a better heart, thyroids, everything that's up there, okay? You're just pumping, and you're also stimulating the qi, your ball of qi. If you're indoors, you can, if you have some nice, gentle music, go ahead and do that. But I would just turn everything off, because your rhythm and your body might start following the rhythm of the music. I know there are a lot of music designed for Qigong meditation. And then once you feel that you've done this practice enough, I want you to take your palms, place them one on top of each other, and put them just under your belly button, about 3 inches below your belly button. And you are going to be replenishing the qi into your lower dantian. So that's called ocean breathing. And if you do that, like I said, remember, like in the middle of the day and you're outside, you're going to, because your breathing, the focus is on the ocean breathing, you're going to be inhaling a lot more stuff. So it's best to do this in the morning. It doesn't take very long, maybe like 4 or 5 minutes at the most, even shorter if you're like, you feel like you're in a hurry or a time limitation. At night, it's really beautiful. You might want to call it moon breathing. I think ocean breathing, you kind of get that kind of gentle flow. And don't worry like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Allow yourself to be the poet of your body. Okay, I just given you some words, but how you interpret those words is up to you. Remember, the biggest deal on this thing is that when you are pulling your hands apart, you're inhaling, and then when you're coming in, you're exhaling. So when the arms get bigger and wider, you have a bigger breath, and then when you're slowly moving in, you're exhaling. And so you can do it very gradually. Start with little breaths, very slowly, bigger breaths, and then again go back to smaller breaths. And then put your hands over your lower dantian, restoring your qi that's in your body. And you put your hands over your lower dantian and just kind of stand there. Allow your eyes to be quiet and possibly closed, or just look off into the distance and anything particular. You're just looking off into the horizon somewhere, maybe a tree or just something, just very soft gaze. And just notice what's happening in your body. What does it feel like? Does something hurt? Do you feel silly? Do you feel, like, what? What just happened? Or do you feel tingly? Do you feel a warmth, a vibration? Do you want to sit down? Do you want to do some more? So these are some of the things that you can notice, because the Qigong is about noticing, and because you're developing a connection to Source.